What up, Instagram? How you doing? For everybody that is watching this on replay, we're gonna talk about O.P.M, other people's money. Before we talk about that, I want to show you something that I was looking at. 𝐉𝐨𝐢𝐧 motivational video.
Saying, Les, can you do this? Can you make this happen? I used to listen to tapes day in and day out.
Woo!
About See You at the Top, my great friend Zig and Dennis Waitley and different other motivational speakers and Dr. Norman Vincent Peale in Texas saying, don't let nobody steal your dream. I used to ask myself, can I
do this?
And something said within me,
you're the one. You're the one. This is insane. I took some notes about what he was doing. What's up, everyone that is joining us? O.P.M, guys, other people's money. We're gonna talk about that. Before, if it's the first time you hear about me, let me tell you a little bit who I am, what we do at Golden Option FX, a service that we offer, why you should trust me when it comes to money. And what's up, everyone that is joining us? Yeah, so guys, I always looked at some visualization stuff. Jim Rohn, Bob Proctor, Les Brown, all of that. Very, very great. You gotta visualize what you want. You gotta be able to visualize like what is gonna be your lifestyle and all that. But you also gotta have a plan on like how you gonna create more skills. How you gonna create how you gonna help people solve their problem. There's basically two ways, guys, that you can make real money, right? Become real wealthy, okay? And you know that slaving your time or just exchanging your time for money, which is basically having a job, it's never gonna make you rich, right? The people that are rich, they have two things working for them. Only two things. Easy as that. They have businesses and they have investment. All right? So let's talk about businesses. Like first of all, in a business, it's pretty simple. A business is only two things. It's people and system. People and system, right? You always see people on Instagram, they're like, I'm starting my IG business, or I'm having my little business, or I'm doing this. Well, to be honest, guy, this is being self-employed. And you gotta have the right mindset, the same mindset, but like when we say, for example, treat trading as a business. Well, that is true. You gotta treat trading as a business, but it's more like you are a self-employed. And if you didn't see my YouTube video and my blog article about the cash flow quadrant by 𝐉𝐸𝐧 you should definitely check that out because it explained basically the cash flow quadrant that 95% of the population are either employee or self-employed, and 5% of the population are business owner and investors. So let's talk about how you can be in the 5%, right? So most people, they want to skip from being an employee to an investors, right? They want to go from 1 to 4 and skipping step 2 and step 3. While it's almost impossible to do that, okay? So unless you're like you have an inheritance and you get a bunch of money or you win the lottery or something like that, all right? So how can you do this? Well, if you're an employee right now, if you're exchanging your time for money, you gotta go from being from being an employee to a self-employed to a business owner to an investor. Now, some people try to go from being an employee to number 3, being a business owner, and most of the time you will fail. They will fail doing that. Why? Because you need to learn the skills to be a business owner, to be a good business owner. So the way to do it is learn the skills. So you go from employee to self-employed. So you're basically your own little business yourself. So now, what is going to be your skill? There's a lot of things that can be your skill, right? It can be selling. Selling will always work, right? So if you learn how to sell, there's always money that's going to be able to be made. There's always businesses that need salesmen. You can always make money selling, okay? Secondly, you can learn how to be a trader, how to manage money. We all say trader, right? But we should change the word trader, guy, from now on, from trader to money manager, okay? So treat yourself or think about yourself as not a trader anymore, but a money manager, okay? That is a skill as well. Now, you got a bunch of skill, right? Like a bunch of skills. Some people, their skill is being good at sports, all of that, blah, 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 okay? Now, if you develop the skills of trading, for example, you gotta think about the long term. How can I go to number 3? How can I build a business around trading? Well, in trading, right, there's really only one way, unless you're gonna sell like signals and course and all that, but that's not really trading aspect. It's more building a business around trading. Now, you're trying to trade and build, anyway, it's the other way around. So that would be a hedge fund, right? That would be managing people's money, right? That's pretty much the only way, right, to turn trading into a business, right? Now, pretty much all the skills, you can turn it into a business. For example, if you're good for being a consultant, where you can start by being a consultant for business owner or for whatever, and eventually build a consulting business where you have employee, team member, people selling for you, and you're just delivering the services. Or you even build a course, and now everything is automated. So you're still doing some consulting, but everything is automated. So that's the point, right? So usually, like building your skills, guy, it will take you literally like 1, 2, 3, 4 years. And this is where people get it wrong, right? They go from number 1, they're still an employee, and they want to be number 4 in like 6 months, right? While it takes 15 to 20 years to go from number 1 to number 4. Now, I've been super good at it, let's say. Maybe a little bit of luck, timing, a lot of ambition, all right? And I was able to go from number 1 to number 4 in like 4 years. So that is extremely good. So you can do it. You can go from being an employee to be an investor in like 3-4 years. But that's like the minimum, and you really gotta start making some crazy money during that time. So anyway, let's get back. Now you're building your skills. It's gonna take you 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, right? So, and this is what people don't want to do, right? Because there's no way to get rich or to become an investor and make crazy money during those 1, 2, 3 years, right? So you just gotta enjoy the journey. You gotta document over creating. You gotta enjoy the journey, okay? So now, after those 1, 2, 3 years, right? You'd go to number 3, which is being a business owner. To give you an example, guys, all the way to 2015, I was pretty much like almost a number 2 myself, because I was basically like being an entrepreneur before Instagram, before all of that, right? I'm not gonna say what I was doing, but whatever. I was doing what most real entrepreneurs were doing. You know, I'm not gonna say it, but you know, taking something, right, a plant, and buying it and reselling it, right? That's a pure form of entrepreneur. So I'm not gonna say what I say, but I'm gonna say that selling weed is kind of being a purest form of an entrepreneur. So all right. So I always had those skills, right, of kind of being an entrepreneur, because I was always doing that. But I never had really an enterprise, right? So I was always number 2. Now, I built my online business, I was doing pretty much everything, right? I was posting on Instagram, doing the stories, creating the content, building a sales funnel, sending the email, running the Facebook ad, coming up with the offer. The only thing I was not doing in like 2018 and 19 is I got a support. I got a support that answer or DM and start adding and taking out people of our VIP channel, okay? But this year, no, at the start of 2020, I said, okay, it's time for me to really make a transformation to be a full-time business owner. So I delegated everything. I said the social media posting, I'm not doing any of the social media posting anymore. You guys are gonna do it. Sending them email marketing, you guys are gonna do it, right? Posting on YouTube, you guys are gonna do it. Now I still post on YouTube, but I could delegate it, but it's just because I wanna do it. But that's a big issue of the entrepreneurs, guys. We always think that we're gonna do it better ourselves, while on the short term, yes, we will because we have more skill, but on the long term, if you can find the right piece in your team and train that piece, it's gonna become an expert in the area, while you cannot be an expert at 12 different area or 7 different area. So you can be good or even great at 6, 7 different area. But if you really want to hit the top of anything, you gotta have expert, right? So you gotta have an expert for your Instagram. You gotta have an expert for your YouTube. You gotta have an expert in sales funnel. You gotta have an expert in pay advertising. You gotta have an expert when it comes to the support. You gotta have an expert when it comes to creating offer. You gotta have an expert trader that can send really profitable signals. If you wanna do capital management, all of that, right? So these are the piece of my businesses. So now I started making a bunch of money, like $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, even $30,000 per month of my personal income this year. So at the start of the first 6 to 8 months, right, my goal was to get a house, which I got, right? Talking about that, I'm gonna go get some water, but this is my house, my own house, my one and only house. And because I messed up my credit years ago, and that I already did a bunch of video on that, the credit system is a real joke. There's kind of no way to rebuild my credit, even if I have money, if I have income, if I do everything right. Check that out. Bitcoin. So, and check that out as well. I got this t-shirt, Bitcoin going to the moon. And I got this t-shirt, Mr. Monopoly, that is throwing Bitcoin everywhere. This is the Fed. All right, so I got my house, right? I don't consider that an investment, even if in where I'm from, Canada, it's like taking 9% per year. So it's making more money than the stock market, saving account, and pretty much anything on the market beside Bitcoin. But I still don't consider that an investment, all right? Now, because I had a bad credit, I was not able to get a mortgage with a regular bank at 3% interest. I was not able to get a mortgage with a B bank with like 5-6% interest. I had to get a private lender. Private lender was asking like all the fees combined together, guys. I made the math. It goes to 15% per year. So instead of paying 3% of interest per year, I'm paying 5 times that, 15% of interest, literally over $1,000 per month of interest to get this house. But it's all good with me, right? I'm all good with paying $1,000 plus interest to have my house. At the end of the day, I still pay like the same price that I would have for like a small regular apartment with complaining neighbors, no backyard, wasting all my money on rent and all that. So for me, it's still good. Now, I'm still not getting my credit up, even if I have a business making like $1 million per year, even if I put down 35% down payment for my house because it was a private lender. So my house, guys, it's a 400K house. My down payment was $135,000. All right. And I stacked $135,000 while everybody else was waiting for $1,000 check by the government. Okay. And I don't want to piss on no one here, right? But like, I posted something today, like I got rich in 2020 because of the skills that I learned and I practiced in 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019. So like when you see a $500 course, a $1,000 course, a $2,000 mentoring, and you're like, well, this is all I got. I should pay my rent. I should buy myself some beer or whatever. I don't need to buy a $500 course about finance and investing because I don't even have money anyway. I live like paycheck to paycheck. No, you need the knowledge. Like Les Brown said something crazy that I took a note. He said, it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than have an opportunity and not be prepared. All right? That pretty much says it all, right? It's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than have an opportunity and not be prepared, right? So I was preparing myself, practicing, learning, mastering the skills for 3-4 years while I couldn't do nothing with that knowledge and those skills because I didn't add money to invest. But now this year, boom, started to have a lot of money. I got my house, right? I bought my house in September, guys. So back in September, I don't know if it was a mistake, but like first like purchase that I did, I spent $13,000 on Cheddar H in my backyard, like cash, $13,000. After putting like $135,000 down payment on the house. So I don't know if it was a good idea, but I could have bought like a whole Bitcoin at that time instead of having Cheddar H. But just to make a point that even after doing that, after that, I bought my first Rolex, right? Because literally for 3 years, I was like, yo, those people that are spending $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 on a watch, they're like ridiculously stupid, right? Like ridiculously stupid. Like, why would you put $20,000, $25,000 on a watch? Like, I was like that for years, right? Until I started to see some video on Rolex. And, and until I bought a house and I had $25,000, $30,000 in my bank account, and I was like, well, what do I do with that money? Like what do I do with that money? Like, it's the first time in my life that I was asking myself that question, like, what do I do with that money? Like, there's literally nothing to do. Nothing. I'm not gonna put it in the stock market. Even if it's $30,000, I'm gonna make 10% per year, right? That's what that's 3,000, right? Not even 10%, probably 5% after all the fee. That's 1,500. That's $110 per month. And then I gotta say to the government, I made $110 per month investing this year. Here's your 50%. So I'm left with, or 20% if it's capital gain, whatever. So I'm left with like $70 per month, right? For investing my 30K, completely ridiculous, right? Then the other thing you can do, the best thing you can do is like buy course, buy knowledge, all that. Yep, I did it. I spent like $20,000, $30,000 on course and consulting and all that in all the other years. So now I got all the knowledge I need. I'm like, okay, next thing I can do is put it in trading. Well, my business partner is already managing like $320,000 US. So there's no point for me to put my $30,000 and trying to trade it when I'm not really a good trader and he is. So he's managing the capital. So now we come to the point of this video pretty soon, guy. O.P.M. I said all that to come to this point. The point of this video is O.P.M. Other people money. We're coming very, very close to that, guy. It's a key of the rich people. So now I'm like, okay, what can I do with that money? I'm just gonna buy myself a Rolex because I started looking at YouTube video and the Rolex Batman was like fucking cool. Really, really fucking cool. So I bought the Rolex Batman. Then I started being interested in Bitcoin. I don't know why. I don't know if it was just because it just restarted to pop up on YouTube, right? And social media. I don't know if it was just like a godsend message, right? I don't know if it was because now I had money, so I was interested about that. But I got interested in Bitcoin. I started looking at every single freaking video on Bitcoin on YouTube. Since September, that's all I do every single day, all day long. I just look at YouTube video and realvision.com video about crypto and Bitcoin all day long. All the podcasts, all of that. So anyway, so now I get more money and all that. I get a big chunk of money in September and I'm like, okay, now I'm buying Bitcoin. So I buy like a full Bitcoin and then I find out about those lending platforms that you can put your Bitcoin and you got like 50% collateral. So I put my Bitcoin in that. They give me like cash value of like a half of a Bitcoin. So I go buy another half of Bitcoin. I put it in there. They give me a cash value of a quarter of a Bitcoin. I go buy a quarter of a Bitcoin. I did the same thing until I had basically 1.8 Bitcoin, right? And I bought at 19,000. I bought at the top, right? That's how confident I was. And I told everyone, guys, we don't give a fuck that it's at the top, 19,000. We buy at the top. It's not about the top. It's about like the market cap, right? You just got to look at the gold market cap, at the money supply market cap, like M1, M2, M3, all that. It's a little bit complicated, but it's about the market cap. And it's like Bitcoin, like it's going up. It's going up 100% for sure in the hundreds of thousands, right? Like if it ever like basically replace money as we know it, every Bitcoin is going to be worth 5 million each. Right? If it replaces. Now, I don't think it might get there one day. But anyway, now I'm going on another subject. I'm supposed to talk about O.P.M. So, yeah, someone said, I'm waiting for you in private. Yeah, I'm busy, but we'll answer back like when we're ready. So O.P.M. So now, guys, like I put my money in Bitcoin. That's cool. Blah blah blah. Now the real people that are getting wealthy, they use other people money. That is what O.P.M. is, right? Like my business partner, right? Like yeah, he could like trade his own money and like put all his money in like his trading account and use his trading account, right? But he could also use other people money to trade, right? And now he can use his own money to invest in other things like Bitcoin, like Ripple, like ETH, or he can double trade, like trade his own account and trade investors' capital, make more, or he can diversify and invest in other stuff, or he can just say, fuck it. I'm always going to trade investors' capital and I'm confident about my skills and I'm going to get more and more and more capital with time. So all the income that I make from basically my business and other thing, I'm just going to spend it. That's my cash flow, right? So there's a lot of people that are investing money or that are wealthy, that have made money, that will tell you, oh, never spend money, be really, really frugal, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't really believe in that, but I don't spend a lot. But I know some people, they spend a lot, they spend too much, right? But you gotta have a right balance, right? Like for example, I bought this watch at 9,000. This watch is my second Rolex. Like the first Rolex, the Batman, was like 23,000. I already made like over $1,000 profit on that watch, by the way, like 6-7%. So I made as much like return on my Rolex that I would have made like in the stock market. Now I didn't have to learn about the stock market, and my Rolex is probably less risky than the stock market, and I enjoy way more wearing a Rolex than putting it in the stock market. And on top of that, I can take photo, video with my Rolex, use that in social media, sell more signals, all of that, and make more money even with it, right? Same thing with my BMW, right? I got a few YouTube video when I bought my BMW in 2018. There's still my most trending video. Like there's still the video on my YouTube channel that are the most popular and getting the most people to know my YouTube channel and all that. They're 2 years ago video, right? So even if now I pay like over $1,000 per month still for that car, because I got a 4-year lease, so I'm stuck with it, right? And I'm paying a few $100s per month of insurance, and I literally don't drive it. Like don't drive it at all. Maybe I will take it maybe 1 time or 2 times per month just for fun, right? I have someone else like doing my groceries and all that. So like that $1,200 per month that I pay on my car, it's not really money that I lost because I made money with it in the past, right? All of that. So all of that, you can consider that O.P.M, other people's money, right? Because the BMW, it's a lease, right? So I got other people money to use the BMW, right? The banks, right? You save money in the banks take that money, they lend it to me to buy a BMW, and I make money with that BMW, and that is O.P.M, right? Now, there's people that will, there's businesses that will do what we call buyback, so they rebuy their stocks. Now, right now, the interest rates are super low, so they go to the bank, they say, hey, my business is doing well, we just did 20% this year, we got a lot of cash flow, can you lend me another $500 million? The banks are like, yep, sure, I'm gonna lend $500 million to you at 3% interest, and the business go buy his own stock, right? It's called a buyback. So now the business gets bigger, so the CEO, he get a bonus, he's happy. The investors, they get a bonus, they're happy. The only people that are not happy in there is the client of that company, because all the money is not being put back in the customer and in the actual business to make it grow. It just goes to the investors and the CEO bonus and all the executive bonus. So that is a shit, garbage, stupid things, but that is O.P.M as well, right? Now, how we do O.P.M, it's with trading. Like you can use other people's money. You see all these prop firm, all these funding program that are basically lending you money and all that. That is O.P.M, other people money. So everything that is a loan, every single time like I get a mortgage on my house, that is other people money. That is the bank taking other people money, their saving account, right, and lending it to me. Well, for me, it's a private lender. It's not a bank, but you get the point. So that is pretty much the point of this video. So yeah, that is it, guys. And that's it. That's it. Do we have some question that I can answer? Whoop. If you have any question about all of that, you can drop it in the little question thing right there at the bottom. I'm gonna answer a few questions for a few minutes, and we're gonna get going. Master Bing trade. Don't rush me like that. It's not like I'm busy. We don't even know if we're gonna do it in French and all that. It's all right. I don't think we have any question. So I'm gonna let you guys go. Yeah, I never said at the start of this video why you should listen to me. I was rethinking about that. At the start of this video, I was like, before I go into that, let me tell you who am I, why you should listen to me and our business, what we do, what is our services, and I completely skip all of that. So we'll do it at the end, even though all of you guys probably know what we do, but hey, let's do it. So now I made the proof of why you should have listened to me with my money. I did my story and all that. So let's just say about what we do. So we got our VIP Forex signals. Okay, we got a few things. We got our VIP Forex signals. You can get started with $1. You'll get a free course. You'll get a trial of our VIP Forex signals. We also have our capital management. If you want us to trade your capital, it's a 50-50 profit split. For $10,000 balance and more, it's completely free. There's no fee, so that's how much we trust in our services. If you got less than 10K, that's fine. We can trade your capital. It's just $100 minimum, but there's a little fee, so we can trade your capital. And that's it. There's a 50% early bird discount right now for the next 24 hours. All the links are in the bio. This one is goldenoptiontrading.com/investors. And that's it. Take care, guys. We also got our funding program. If you want to get funded 25K of trading capital, we have that as well.